Hey everybody, it's CW again. This is the list of books I plan on reading for the month of May. I decided to do a small theme. I'm reading books in a series. So I'm doing the Believe-a-thon this month. So I'm only going to be putting 5 books on my books to be read for this month, because I have 5 to read during the Believe-a-thon, which is only 2 weeks long, and I'll put a link to that below. I also have 1 audiobook to listen to. The first book I am going to read is called Fortuna Swan by K.J. Sutton. I picked this book after Becca and the Books raved about it. She said she loved it so much, so I thought I would check it out. Fortuna is a nightmare that lives in the human world. She is looking for her brother who went missing one day 2 years ago. Becca raved about this book, so I just had to read it. I'll have an update later on in the month about how I like it and stuff like that, so no worries on that one. The second book I'm going to read is Flunked by Jen Kolenita. I'm going to jack up her name, and I am so sorry. So Flunked is the first book in the Fairy Tale Reform School series. The story centers around Gilly, who is one of the children that lives in a shoe, and she gets caught stealing and has to go to school run by former super scary villains, the Big Bad Wolf, the Evil Queen, and Cinderella's stepmother. She makes friends with 2 students named Jax and Kayla. Some battle is coming, and Gilly has to be ready for it. So that's my second book. And then the third book I'm going to read is Footprints by Nikki Jane. Please forgive the state of my poor book. We had a flood in our bedroom, in the laundry room, and I cannot get a hold of the author to get these replaced. So I'm going to read them though. Mine are signed. I met her at a book convention. And this is the first book in the Deception series. The story is about Riley, who grew up a military brat, and something happens to her military father, causing her to decide to never fall in love with a military man, ever. But she ends up meeting this military guy, and now she has to decide whether she's going to be with him or not. I've had this book for a little while, and I've decided that I wanted to read it, and because it looks like it's a really good book. So I'm going to check this one out. The fourth book I'm going to read is Endless Night by R.M. Gilmore. This is the second book in the Dylan Hart Odyssey of the Occult series. And then in this one, Dylan goes to the Big E's for an Endless Night Masquerade. It's Endless Night Masquerade de Snag. It looks like this time Dylan is possibly dealing with voodoo instead. So I'm going to check this one out. I really like Dylan. She doesn't care what anyone thinks. She's a total badass. I love her. So my fifth book is You by Carolyn Kepners. I just watched the Netflix series about this book, so I wanted to read the book. It is in second person and is about a shopkeeper named Joe. He becomes obsessed with a woman named Beck. I've watched both seasons of the show. I really hope I've heard this is really good, so I want to check it out. I hope I like the book more, as much as the show, or more than the show. I usually have a hard time sometimes, though, if I really like the show and then I read the books afterwards. I had that problem with Dexter. I really did not like the books to Dexter. I had a really hard time with them. But I love watching the show Dexter with my husband, so I don't know. The audio book is Forest Mage by Robin Hobb. This is the second book in the Soldier Son series, and I understand that Navarre is a soldier now, but he's still getting over the sickness from the previous book, as well as he may still have some issues with the specs, and he's supposed to be engaged and well. So this is the second book. I'm going to listen to it on audio, though. I'm not going to read this one, because I got a lot going on this month, and there is like, oh my goodness, there's like 718 pages, and with me doing the Believe-a-thon at the same time, I'm not going to be able to finish it, so I'm going to listen to it on audio. These are the books I hope to read for the month. If you have any book suggestions, please drop them below. I'm always looking for new books to read. And thanks, and good night to everybody.